Hey, what's up, guys? I'm trying to do this again. So, yeah, here I am. I'm doing an upload. I'm actually trying to maybe do some uploads a couple times a week in the interest of saving time, uh, because it takes many hours out of my day to do the live stream, to get the show together and then do the live stream. And then it's just, you know, I have some very important things I need to do during the day, like work and make money and stuff like that. So, take care of my kid and like do other things. It's just like, I love doing the show, but I mean, it just takes a lot of hours out of my day. So I'm trying to find a way to streamline it. However, I already did this whole show and StreamYard destroyed my sound. So they just wasted all the time I was trying to save. So I'm extremely upset right now, because I was trying to save time. But here I am doing the show. What I'm going to do is give you a very abbreviated show. I have no idea whether StreamYard is going to destroy my sound on this one either, because it sounds fine to me. When you guys hear the clicky clicks, I can't hear anything. So if I do the whole show and it's clicky click, I can't tell until after I'm done with the show. It's very annoying. Maybe I should use something else other than StreamYard. I might have to do that. But what you're going to get is an abbreviated show. That's what you're going to get, because I just don't have the time for this and I don't have the energy for it. I've already done the show and I'm extremely upset. Okay. Hey, staggering green growth says, is going to save us from 1.5C. I don't even know how that's going to happen, because we're already at 1.5C. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. We're already at 1.5C. At what point are they going to admit that we're at 1.5C? I don't understand. Is 1.5C when we're always above 1.5C and we're touching 2 or 2.5, and then 1.5 is, because the global temperature goes up and down as the year, as the seasons wane. What the hell? When are they going to admit that we're at 1.5? It's already reached. I don't know what they're talking about. And they seem to think that, because we've seen staggering investments in green growth, that somehow that's going to save us from 1.5C. This is absolute delusion and lying to the people. That's what you're doing. You're lying to people. You're trying to get them to keep feeling good about industrial civilization until the very end. It just is mind-boggling to me. I don't get it. Anybody who knows anything about anything knows that we're just seeing like absolute mayhem going on the planet, and we're, supposedly we're not at 1.5C yet, even though we've had 2 months this year where we hit 1.5 or surpassed it. You do know that's happening. You do know that it's already happened. I don't understand. What is the Guardian trying to tell people? There's still hope. Hey, everybody, we're great. If we only just all get electric cars and solar panels, we're going to save the planet. We're going to get to net zero by 2050. And then by then, it'll be like 3.5C in reality. And the whole world will look like this. Peter Dyan says at least 35 million tons of minimum of metal mining needed annually for the next 15 years to transition to a green economy. There'll be nothing left of ecology if this happens. Right. When I hear this phrase green growth, I think, well, trees, plants, flowers. I don't think of like things made of metal. Things made of metal that are supposed to save the planet from too many emissions. That doesn't look green to me, right? Green growth is a bunch of metal cubes that we've manufactured in order to save the planet from the metal cubes that we've already manufactured. It doesn't make any sense to me. Oh my God. And we're already seeing the consequences of 1.5. Imagine what 2 or 3 is going to look like. Hail falling in Saudi Arabia. Hail. Hail, floods, hail, fires, drought. Mississippi River, saltwater inundation. I hope the sound is good on this video, because I ain't going to do it again. You guys are going to have to go listen to the show and call in if that happens. There's hail in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. I'll have to figure out something else, because I just can't trust StreamYard anymore. I can't trust you, StreamYard. You broke my heart. I really do have a lot to do, and I already made this video like an hour ago. My God, I'm sorry, I won't keep harping on it. I made this video an hour ago. I'm supposed to be doing other things now. Okay. This is Greece. Greece getting it again. Yeah. So, mayhem, general mayhem going on the planet. People telling you that we're, going to save ourselves from 1.5, even though we already hit 1.5. It's, there are a lot of people out there that don't have any clue or idea whatsoever about what's going on, don't care to have a clue or idea whatsoever about what's going on. And I think that's what that article was aimed at. This is a good breakdown from Nico House about who hates democracy more. I posted this yesterday on my Twitter. It's hard to tell who hates democracy more. I mean, Hillary Clinton told us that Putin hates democracy. However, it seems to be us. It seems to be the U.S. that hates democracy because we want to go slap down any country that actually elects a leader that they like. Hey, we elected a socialist leader that's going to give us health care and make sure that we have food to eat and, take over our own natural resources for our own use and, right? We're going to... No, we're like, you can't have that. We want to exploit and destroy and rape you of all, take all your resources from you. And we want somebody, leader that's going to help us do that. We can't have this socialism going on, this democracy. You voted in this guy that, that you like. Well, we don't like him. So we're going to go. So who hates democracy more? Is Putin doing that stuff around the world? No, he is not.
United States and Victoria. So Hillary Clinton sat down with Jen Psaki for an interview, and it was every bit as horrible as you'd imagine. Psaki opens up by saying that we know that Putin interfered with the 2016 election, and Hillary follows up with saying he's probably interfering with the 2024 election. And then Hillary Clinton has the audacity to say that it's actually Putin who hates democracy, and that it's Putin who interferes with governments all over the world, and that they put their money, that Russia puts its money behind certain candidates in certain countries to get the desired outcome. So it's pretty obvious that Hillary Clinton's goal by doing this interview was to give a lesson in classic projection. It has to be projection, right? Because wasn't it Hillary Clinton's State Department that interfered with the elections in Honduras? And wasn't it Hillary Clinton who braggadociously proclaimed, "We came, we saw, he died," while celebrating the coup she took part in the assassination and overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya? And speaking of Russia, wasn't it the United States and Victoria Nuland specifically who funded neo-Nazis and then overthrew the democratically elected government of Ukraine in 2014? So if we're going to keep it real, let's keep it all the way real. And the reality is that there was an extensive investigation because of Hillary Clinton that showed there was zero proof that Russia intervened in the 2016 election on behalf of Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. Moreover, history has shown that it is actually Hillary Clinton in the United States that hate democracy. It is actually Hillary in the United States that interfere with elections abroad and in all the regions of the world that the U.S. is known to intervene in, Central and South America, Africa, Middle East. Russia has zero record under Putin trying to overthrow governments at all in any of those regions. But the timing of this interview is so strange that it makes me wonder, is this really about Putin? Or is it about these new polls that have been coming out that have shown Biden losing to Trump by 10 points or even 20 points amongst some demographics? And this is just another attempt by the Democrats to bake in an excuse for when they ultimately lose to Donald Trump again after putting up a candidate that they knew was woefully unpopular. So Hillary Clinton's
good stuff from Nico House, as always. But don't worry, guys. I was going to play something. This clip from Jimmy Dore and Rusty Rockets about, the fact that it's not misinformation that they don't like. It's not misinformation. It's information. It's people, finding out the truth. It's people talking about the truth. It's people talking about candidates they like. It's people talking about what's really going on. That's not what they're not concerned with misinformation. They're concerned with actual information because they want you to believe their misinformation. You're getting in the way of their misinformation. You're getting in the way of their malinformation. And you must obey, right? All right, anyways.
I wonder, Jimmy, how you see the role of independent media relating to new independent political movements, and even if those political movements are currently in your country, the main parties. I'm talking specifically, I suppose, about Bobby Kennedy, who's emerging out of this pandemic and war period as an authentic voice, and in spite of his surname and the obvious fact that that means to a degree he's a legacy politician, he's creating a lot of hope. He's creating a lot of traction. He's the first political figure, perhaps other than Trump, with Trump's relationship with Twitter, who's been able to gain access to an audience without having to move through the legacy media gatekeepers who seem hell-bent on preventing oppositional voices from uniting and from being amplified. When you talk about revolution, obviously, it seems that in 2023, with a militarized police force, with a surveillance state, with anti-protest laws, with the increasing ability of governments to switch off money supply, to shut off your tech, to shut off your ability to communicate, that the type of revolution that we're discussing would have to have a very different flavor and would perhaps have to coalesce around political figures that are willing to carry that burden. Do you think it is a revolution that requires leaders? Do you think it is a revolution that's happening at the level of the nation? Do you think it's a revolution that by its nature has to include a significant portion of the population? And if so, what do you think is going to be the significance of relationships between independent media, particularly if independent media is under attack, and independent political voices? How are these new nexuses or nexi to be formed? And do you see that formation taking place yet, Jimmy?
Well, I do. I think Bobby Kennedy, as his almost entire campaign is being run in alternative independent media. He's going around the mainstream news media, and he's going directly to the people. He's going through podcasts. And so, of course, they have to demonize those podcasts. I just saw the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, said he's worried because his son is listening to Joe Rogan. And I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? Joe Rogan didn't lie to his kid about the Ukraine war, about the truckers, about COVID, mandates, vaccines, lockdowns. Guess who did? Gavin Newsom did, and the establishment. This idea that the corporate news and the government officials put forward that somehow we're at risk, imperiled by independent media spreading misinformation. Well, I'm here to tell you, we all know that the number one spreader of misinformation and lies is the government. The second is the corporate media. And third is everybody else. And it's a distant third. And so this.
All right. Jimmy Dore breaking it down very succinctly. They don't want you to realize that they're telling you fictions. The U.S. is agreeing to send long-range missiles to Ukraine and military boost for Kiev. All right. Just in time for Christmas, guys. Enabling Ukrainian forces to target Russian military logistics way beyond the front line. This is just couldn't be more awesome. U.S. President Joe Biden has decided to supply Ukraine with long-range army tactical missile systems, an important boost to Kiev's capacity to target Russian military logistics at long-range distances as the country prepares for a second winter at war. If you're wondering why Biden is suddenly trailing badly in the polls, this could be one of the reasons. Could be that people aren't really all that happy about this. When Biden announced Harris as his VP, private prison stocks skyrocketed in anticipation of how this crime bill author, corrupt cop duo, would round up and cage a record-breaking number of migrants for record-breaking profits. Oh, remember when I played that video of Biden saying, we're going to get all the people in here. We're going to get everybody to come. Is this why they're just saying, come on, everybody, come on in? Because it's driving the profits of the private prison corporation to detain immigrants. revenues from ICE have skyrocketed because all these facilities are privately run. I mean, I don't know if that's a pretty obvious correlation, don't you think? Hey, oh man, we want to just take care of everybody. Come on in. Everybody come across the border. Let's go. Let's build some new facilities while we're at it because we have a stake in those facilities. We have a stake in those facilities. Certainly it's going to be, it's good for people. We're just trying to help people out. That's all. And quickly, just covering, this is the VAERS website. I'm just covering the VAERS website. I'm not saying anything about this. I have no opinion on this. Wow, what could possibly have caused this devastating spike in miscarriages? And look at when that started. I'll show you the actual website. If you're not into screenshots, which I'm not really into either, here's the actual website. Miscarriages. This is VAERS. I'm just reporting on VAERS. That's all I'm doing. Not saying anything about this. Not saying anything about this. Wow. Must be long COVID. Must be that long COVID, Did you all know about this thing that's happening on October 4th? There's going to be a joint FEMA FCC test of the emergency broadcast system. I think it's like 220. I know, hey, all the people that are saying, some people are saying, turn off your cell phones, get away from routers and cell phones or even 5G towers. I don't know about that. I'm not saying to do that. We'll call these people conspiracy theorists. This is a fact check from the AP. They said there's nothing to worry about. This is just a regular alert. And I don't know, but there's a lot of stories going around about this, that's like the grid's going to go down or, whatever. Hey, I'm just letting you know this is happening. That's all I'm saying about it. I'm not saying I condone or support any of those other ideas. Okay. Lastly, Joe Rogan said he would certainly vote for Trump over Biden. This is not saying that he is going to vote for Trump, which is this Simon Atiba says he's saying. He's not saying
he's going to run against Trump.
I really hate when people misrepresent these clips. He said he would vote for Trump over Biden. That's not saying he's voting for him. I think he's saying if that was his choice, if he had to, I don't know, there are other people in the race, right? There's RFK Jr., there's, some other folks around. So are not our only choices yet. But he's giving you a reason why people might feel, why there's a big jump in the polls for Trump. He's giving you the reasons, and they're logical reasons. They're not bad reasons. Again, I am not a Trump. I'm not saying I'm supporting Trump. I'm trying to spell out for you why it is people might, where the sentiment is at. I'm just pointing like, hey, this is what people are saying and this is how they're feeling. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's how I feel or who I'm voting for. That's not who I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to tell you.
In the Republican side and win, because you're not going to get the Trump supporters. They are all in on Trump. Unless he has a stroke, unless something happens that's horrible, they're all in on Trump. If you run against Trump, you're now the enemy of Trump. If I was friends with DeSantis, I'd be like, don't do it. You can't beat that guy. You just can't. When that guy gets out there and he's waving to people and they're going crazy, you're not beating that. There's and the fact that he was the president for 4 years and the country was in a great economic situation, and it looked like his policies were actually effective, and that it looked like the unemployment was down, all business was building, regulations were being relaxed, more things were getting done. When you look at it from a policy perspective, if you just look at it on paper, what he did was effective. A lot of people think it was effective. You don't like him as a personality, so you ignore that. Don't do that. Look at it in terms of a policy perspective. People liked the ideas that he was putting forward. And now you're saying like, oh, the wall is raised. Now the fucking everybody thinks there needs to be a wall. Even the mayor of New York City is now calling to stop immigration into his city. And this was the guy that called it for it to be a sanctuary state. When the reality of what your policies, what kind of actions you put forth, what the results of that are, and those results are highly negative, you're forced to sort of recollect your thoughts and come up with a new perspective. And that's what the mayor of New York City is doing right now. When you just look at what Trump's policies were, and then obviously COVID hits, there's a lot to that, the lockdowns, the economic collapse, all the shit that came with that. None of that is good. And then Trump holds up this like hope to bring us back to where we were when he was in office. You're not going to beat that. I don't think they're going to beat that. I don't think when you look at the Russia collusion, when you look at the Steele dossier, when you look at all the bullshit they tried to throw at him that we now know is bullshit, not just bullshit, but coordinated bullshit. When you look at the fact that they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story and that 51 intelligence agency representatives signed off on that to say that this was Russian disinformation, which they know is not true. That's scary. Because now you have the intelligence agencies colluding to keep a guy from being president that was president during a time where the country was thriving economically. You're not going to beat that guy.
Would he get your vote?
He'd get my vote before, he'd get my vote before Biden. I said that before. I don't think that, I never thought that Biden was going to make it. I never thought that he was going to be functional. Like regardless of what kind of power the president actually has. And it appears under Trump, the president has a lot more power than we think they do. But under Biden, it's like he's handled. Like he's just out there talking and say, the real problem is Donald Trump. Donald Trump, what he's done is terrible. He did in the office. It's all nonsense. It's like everyone's treating him with kid gloves because they don't want to prop up Trump. They don't want to go after him because it'll weaken the Democratic Party.
Okay. Well, Joe Rogan spitting some facts. You may not agree, and I don't agree with everything that Trump did or stood for, or a lot of what he stood for. I didn't agree with, but I did agree with some things. I did agree with like anti-interventionism. I did agree with trying to peace agreement between North and South Korea or peace with Russia. Canceling the TPP. There are some things that he did that were all right. There are a lot of things he did that were not all right in my mind. So, again, I'm just trying to point out this is how people are feeling. This is kind of the sentiment of the country, and Biden administration is just going down, down, down. They don't seem to care. All right, guys, that does it for me. Thanks so much. Hopefully this one works out. Sorry if I was, a little angst filled at the beginning of the video. I'm still a little angst filled. I'll see you all tomorrow. Might be another upload. Might be a live stream. I don't know. Just trying to figure it out. But thanks y'all for watching. You know how to support the show. The links are in the description box. You can also, support by buying a t-shirt or whatever. All kinds of ways to support. So thanks again, y'all. Until next time, peace.